About 15 years ago, I made this level. It was called Jungle Test, and it was on a channel that has subsequently been repurposed. I might actually bring the original purpose of that channel back at some point. But yes, it was called Jungle Test, and this was a copy of the Jungle Zone tile set from the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System and Game Gear, brought into a PC version of Lemmings. Now, that was all well and good, and a very, very impressive thing, even if I do say so myself, for that time. But we're 15 years down the road, and there's just one problem with it. It wasn't on the Master System, so it didn't quite feel right. So let me introduce you to this level. This is a very, very condensed, abridged version of the level we just saw, and this is running on the Master System. Now, for a little bit of background, I'm doing the Genesis recreation. The levels for that are all done now. I'm just playtesting it, but this has been taking up my time, so I've not got round to fully playtesting yet. But one of those levels on the Genesis recreation, it's the fire style level. It's called something like Out Up Away from the Tune. It's the one with all the music notes. That one, I didn't have the room in the fire tile set to do. So I tried repurposing the broken Sega tile set into a second fire tile set, and that worked. And after that worked, I got a little bit carried away, so I've rewritten most of how tile sets are handled now in the Sega Master System version of Lemmings, so that we can infinitely, well, semi-infinitely add and add to our tile sets. Quite a few things are working. We've got custom water in this tile set, as we can see down below. That looks and acts just like you would expect regular water to do. It's just got different animated tiles, because that is now set on a per tile set basis, where it's very easy to change, as opposed to before, where it was kind of semi-hard coded, with some exceptions. We do also have the lethal tiles in place, so things like these spikes, they are going to be deadly if a lemming hits from the top or the bottom, I do believe. There are still some tweaks I'm going to need to do with the collision detection on these to make sure that if you hit from the side after building, you will also still feel the deadly effects. I've got a feeling that it might be something to do with how the builder collides with terrain and turns around. It's something with the non-collidable blocks. It might even be classed as a bug, where if you build into a non-collidable block, there is a chance that your builder will detect it as a wall. But I digress. That's something we can work on in the future. It might require an extensive rewrite of some of the game's code, and that's something I don't really want to get into yet, when I've got so many other things in this game that I am wanting to tinker with. Now, one of the other things that I've got working is custom exits. They do have to be a very specific shape and in a very specific order in the tile set, but you can have your custom exits without having to need torches if you want them animated. All of the exits in the Master System version of Lemmings have the animated torches, and they all use the orange torch. They've all got the same one, even though they were originally going to have different torches for the different tile sets. It doesn't have to be torches either, though. As we can see in this tile set, we have the flashing out sign from Oh No More Lemmings. I could probably have done the ring style exit that we got in the original tile set from 15 years ago, but I've lost the files for that, and I didn't want to reanimate that just for a little proof of concept. Here you go. If you walk into the side of those spikes, you do end up melting as well, so it definitely must be something to do with the builder colliding. Like I said, I'll get round to that at some point. But what about you and your custom tile sets? If you want to add them, don't fret. It is something that I am working on in the level editor. I'm currently trying to sketch out how I want them to work, to try and make sure that they are as user-friendly as possible without potentially breaking all of the other levels. So do leave that with me. I'm hoping to get it out within the next week or so. And thinking of the level editor, I do have a fairly big update video planned, because a lot has changed even in that short weekend since the original level editor video went live. I have reworked quite a bit at the back end to make it much more user-friendly and to make it much easier to create your own game as opposed to individual levels. And it's like with anything, The more feedback I get, the more I'm able to change it and make things a lot more user-friendly. I have my own workflow, but my workflow doesn't work for everybody. So it's the kind of thing I will always appreciate your input. A massive thank you to Adrian as well for all of the suggestions, all of the ideas, and for getting me to pull my finger out and actually make it a web app as well as the downloadable app. I am going to be maintaining, at least for the foreseeable future, both of those in tandem. I'm currently rewriting a lot of the desktop program to get it more in line with the nicer code from the web app. I really like how the web app's turned out, and I think both do have their place. I like having a desktop program, so I'm always going to have a desktop program for it. But yeah, I'm very, very, very excited now to see where we can take this version of Lemmings. I've got a feeling we are only scratching the surface with how modified this game will get. I'm going to keep cracking on with little things to try and make it as fun as possible. But with that, I'll wrap up this video, I'll get back to working on it, and I'll catch you all for the level editor update video very soon.